Welcome to Pages Pixels. I'm Rohan with my co-host Kevin, and we're gonna be breaking down two movies
We're
today.
gonna be
The Devil
draking
Wears.
down.
No, we're gonna break down two movies. The sequel, the legacy sequel, Devil Wear, Devil Wears Prada 2, sequel to The Devil Wears Prada. And then the new Adam Scott horror movie Hokum. Before we get started, do subscribe to the Pages Pixels YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our videos, and then make sure you like the video and turn on notifications. It helps us out. All right, let's get started. Which one should we talk first?
Well, I figured since also happy May the 4th be with you day.
Okay.
Uh, I was thinking actually because of this holiday, which movie has the closest degree of separation to Star Wars? Has anyone in either of these movies been in Star Wars at all?
Uh, well, I don't know anyone who's in Hokum other than Adam Scott, and while he hasn't been in Star Wars, his main character in Parks and Rec, or not his main character, his character in Parks and Rec, was a huge geek and a Star Wars fan.
Okay. Yeah, he's the only real notable celebrity in this anyway, so I feel like there probably isn't anyone
Yeah.
else.
I can't think of anyone from Devil Wears Prada who was in Star Wars. I mean, I don't think. Yeah, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Meryl Streep, none of them. I don't think Stanley Tucci was ever in Star Wars. Uh,
I feel like I could have seen like Stanley Tucci being like in the first three trilogy, where he would be like one of like Palpatine's like helpers with some weird things on his
he
bald
wa-
head.
he was, I believe he was in the Hunger Games movies, right? So maybe
Yeah,
that's the visual you're thinking of.
that's probably it. I feel like Emily Blunt would be like. I thought she was in like Rogue One.
That was Felicity Jones.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could have fooled me. I don't know.
No, Emily Blunt has been in, I mean, she's been in other action movies, but
Hmm.
I don't think she's been in a Star Wars movie.
Has John Krasinski been in a Star Wars movie?
She's been in a Marvel movie.
So not quite. Do you
Yeah.
think they're gatekeeping? Who is there Marvel people in Star Wars? Like I'm trying to think of anyone. I guess Harrison Ford. I mean,
Oh,
he was in
yeah, but he's not in either of these movies, I believe.
right. Well, I guess we should go with the Adam Scott playing as Han Solo as the
All
closest
right.
degree.
All right, yeah. Tell me about Hokum because I have heard of this movie. I have seen the poster for this movie, but I know nothing else about it.
So I also went into this movie pretty blind. Just a friend recommended that I go see it, and I had seen the poster and maybe a trailer. I don't recall what the trailer was like. So I felt like I was going in completely blind, other
Mhm.
than just knowing Adam Scott is the main character. Um, so yeah, like I went into this pretty much unsure of what it would be. The basic plot is that um, it's funny. I could have kept going and I could have still said his name, but Adam Scott plays a guy named Ohm Bauman, like Ohm, like that. uh, Ohm Bauman, who's this like writer who is incredibly depressed, and so he goes out to this inn in Ireland to basically spread his parents' ashes. Um, but after some events at the inn begin to go on, like he becomes involved in an investigation that involves the myth of a witch that haunts the inn.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay,
so
so
go ahead.
it's one of those like classic like investigator character goes to creepy place type movie.
Yeah, like he isn't like initially an investigator.
Okay.
He's just a writer who um, like they actually do something kind of clever where they open the movie not on anything that's in the world of Hokum, but in the world of his book. Like they actually shot scenes like that are
Got
telling
it.
his story, which I actually have a problem with that scene, but I'll I mean I guess I'll kind of explain it since it's the very first scene in the movie. Adam Scott is writing this book about two characters. They seem to be like a father and a child, but it's hard to tell exactly what their relationship is. But they find this like circle in the desert that seems to be like a buried treasure that's gonna like save their lives. Basically, he accidentally keeps a bottle, like a glass bottle, and he seals it shut. And then he can't get out the scroll to find where the buried treasure is. And all this time he's like searching for something to break the bottle with, and he gives up until he looks at the child and makes him turn around, and then it's not shown, but it's implied that he uses the glass bottle to like break it on the kid, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's very like gruesome story. Here's where I had a problem with it. Literally 5 seconds earlier, the father took off a giant metal helmet. They never test the bottle on the giant helmet. Adam Scott was writing a book that was flawed to begin with. I was like, what? He literally could have just bashed the bottle on the helmet. There was no reason for him to do that to the kid. So, yeah, I was kind of starting off this movie not too impressed because it kind of like actually impacts the movie in in a surprising way. I think by the end it still pays off, but the main point of the
Mhm.
story is that it's bleak, and so is Ohm. Ohm is just a bleak guy, and that's the kind of things he writes. But as a result, it also means he's not a very popular person with this inn, and he doesn't get along with any of the tenants.
Got it. And I mean, kind of. I'm assuming weird stuff happens, and it's supposed to be like there's a witch, right? Um.
Yeah, there's this like bellhop who tells a story about how he saw the witch in this honeymoon suite room, and ever since then, no one's gone up there, and they keep the gate locked. And this bellboy is also a super big fan of the author, so he's like, "Would you read my manuscript?" It's like us trying to plead producers to to read our script.
Yeah. So, what kind of like a vibe of horror movie is this? Is it like a like jump scare
It's super
fest?
atmospheric.
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally just like uh almost 75% atmosphere, and then the other 25% is just jump scare stuff.
Okay. I
It's a
feel
little
like that.
surreal too, but yeah.
Mhm. I feel like that is a good balance. I don't really like it when movies are entirely jump scare. And then the atmospheric, I definitely prefer atmospheric horror, but I feel like it could get a little bit sometimes it can get a little bit too slow, and it's like there's definitely movies I've seen where it's like I feel like nothing happened or not enough happened.
Yeah, it's not one of those cases, but I will say the jump scares were just kind of annoying more than they were like well set up. I don't mind it too much of them, but I do mind it when they're like just like they'll just pop out of nowhere, and there's no like build up.
Hmm.
They only have one that's like really good build up. But there's actually like more than one, and this is kind of where I'll get into a bit more spoiler territory without going too in depth for you, Rohan, because
Hmm.
it's not just the viewers, but you would get spoiled if you want to watch it. But
Yeah.
there is more than just one evil entity in this movie, or it's not even necessarily evil. It's just that beyond the witch, there's other ghosts and other like nightmarish things. that come up. And I think that it's it's actually what makes the movie both unique and kind of contrived. And I'll do my best to explain it. But have you ever
Hmm.
heard that used like uh, in tandem before?
No, I don't think so actually.
I think I think it's like unique in the sense that uh, you've got a movie that is meant to be about one thing. Like if you go into a movie about Dracula, you're not expecting like a werewolf to show up per se, right? Well,
Unless it's
maybe.
Twilight.
Okay, wait. Well, okay, he's not Dracula. He's Edward Cullen. He's
I
a
know,
different
but it's
person.
vampires and
Maybe a better example would be if you're watching a movie about Dracula, you're not expecting Freddy Krueger to come up. Like that
yeah.
doesn't really that would be surprising but like believable. So they have another
Uh-huh.
creature in this movie that is equally as scary as a creepy witch, but comes from a completely different part of uh, Ohm's psyche, I guess.
Got it.
Have you ever seen 1408?
I have not.
So
I actually
1408,
haven't even heard of it.
it's a movie with John Cusack because they couldn't get Nicolas Cage, but you could tell they wanted Nicolas Cage. And he plays a writer who gets stuck, and he basically agrees to go into this haunted hotel room because he writes about ghosts not being real, and he's always proven it wrong or whatever. And then like he finally stays in the one place in the world that's haunted, and it's hotel room 1408. This movie and that movie are very similar in how they
Hmm.
use its male protagonist and to create this like dark psyche.
Okay, yeah, I gotta. Again, I don't really. Unfortunately, I haven't seen that movie, so it's very hard for me to get a
Yeah,
grasp on that. But I mean, like again, like I said, Hokum does sound interesting. I've heard pretty good things about it as well. I mean, heard good things about it, as in I've seen people say it's good, but I have prior to this, I had like zero knowledge of this movie
yeah.
or at least the contents of it.
Well, so you've heard good things. For me, it's kind of mixed. Like for
Hmm.
me, like overall, because there's the contrived part I was bringing up earlier, in that it's
Right.
like the it's kind of focused on heavily on trauma, which is like the main thing that horror does now, where it's like we've got to make sure this ties back to trauma in some way. It's that Jamie Lee Curtis meme, where she's talking about trauma, the Halloween. I guess you didn't see that. I don't know, but yeah, like that's not always a bad thing when it's done right. But
Huh.
the creature that haunts him is this like weird like donkey man, and it looks really ugly and not scary to me. And so I didn't find that element to be very good, and I found it kind of annoying to experience that because I was more interested in the witch and the weird Irish people. Not
Uh-huh.
sorry, that sounds mean to Irish people. I meant the weird Irish people at the inn, um, because they don't go in depth with them enough. I think that we should have spent more time with them than the the weird donkey creature.
Is it like a cult situation going on or something?
You,
Or is that a spoiler,
I
maybe?
wouldn't. I'll just say I wouldn't blame you if you thought that,
Okay.
but I will not confirm because it is kind of another good part of the movie. There's like highs and lows. I think the highs are like it's really atmospheric and it's really enjoyable to watch. Like I had a good time. But on the other end, I didn't really find Ohm to be a compelling protagonist, and a lot of the stuff that had to do with his horror backstory is really distracting from the rest of the movie.
How was Adam Scott? At least like from a performance level.
I would say he was all right. Like nothing like too interesting. He like I said, he's very bleak. He talks very
Hmm.
monotone, but he does have some funny reactions to some of the people, like because he's so serious, and he plays like the most straight man of the archetype, straight man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he he just like plays off of them really well, but he also makes you really dislike this guy. Like he does succeed at making you not really think he's a good person.
So is he a nerd or a douchebag in this movie? Because he's always either a nerd or a douchebag.
I wouldn't say. I mean, he's definitely more of a douchebag, but
Okay.
he's not like uh, a douchebag just because. Like he has a reason to be a douchebag.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean that's the classic Adam Scott casting. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean I guess he's neither in Severance, but he's always either super nerdy or super douchey, like in like most things that he's been in.
Yeah, definitely leans douchey in this one.
Okay. Yeah, I like I like yeah I like douchey Adam Scott. I mean I just like Adam Scott in general. I think he's great. I'm always excited to see him in more stuff.
I still need to see Severance, but I mean, one of the top letterbox reviews was like, "It's a bad day for Mark's Audi," or I'm assuming that's the right guy. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he's Mark M. I can't remember what his last name is, but yeah, or Mark S. I don't know.
do they not have like last names?
They haven't been revealed, but everyone just goes, yeah. Everyone's just refers to each other as like, I mean, it'll be like Mark and then like you would be Kevin M. You know,
Hmm.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm glad that. Wait, you mean I haven't been going to work that way the whole time? I would say Hokum deserves a consider. It is entertaining. Uh, I think it has some pacing issues, and uh, it is a fun ride, but at sometimes kind of, oh my gosh, I think the witch is about to attack me. It's a fun ride, but a little bit annoying at times too. So, yeah, I
Mhm.
would say that's a consider.
Okay.
You can wait for
By the
streaming.
way, yeah, by the way, for anyone listening or watching and they don't know what Kevin's talking about, we use a script coverage scale. There's pass when we think a movie's bad, consider when it's decent, recommend when we think it's great. So yeah, you said a consider, right? So it's decent.
Yeah, I would say it's decent.
All right, all right. Well, how about? I mean, I guess let's shift gears from this dark horror movie and talk about The Devil Wears Prada 2, um, which yeah, it does not. It has no horror elements at all, despite the name Devil being in the
What
movie.
about
Sorry, I was
Meryl?
trying to come up with. She's not scary. I mean, she kind of is, but like not like a horror element.
Hmm.
um, real quick, have you? I know you didn't get a chance to see Devil Wears Prada 2. Have you seen the first one?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times. It's one of those like classic like mom movies, so I would be on the
Yeah.
couch and it would be on.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've only seen it once. Quite I do like it quite a bit. Um, and then I was pretty excited for The Devil Wears Prada 2, actually. And well, I mean, I guess I'll get into where this movie kind of takes off. You have Andy, the Anne Hathaway character. She is a successful journalist now. Um, it doesn't really the movie doesn't really delve into what exactly she was working on, like what kind of journalism she did. Um, it seemed like investigative journalism, but it was a very quick thing at the very beginning of the movie, and she gets fired while also at the same time winning an award, not a Pulitzer. It was like something else, and basically now she has to find a new job. Meanwhile, there's this big scandal happening with Runway, where Meryl Streep is. That's where the whole that's where part one took place. And in order to basically clean them up and get good PR, they decide to hire Andy, and she's once again working uh, for Meryl Streep. Um, and the the difference this time is she's not an assistant. She's actually like a writer, and a pretty high ranking writer. She is not she's not she still works under Meryl Streep, but it's not like an assistant. And you have time go by where there's like you know the movie acknowledges that a lot of what Meryl Streep does in the first movie is would probably be considered an HR violation today. So there's constantly like she's trying to navigate like what she can and cannot say, what she can and cannot do. But she also is now having pressure from like higher ups because it's not just about Runway, but it's also the big media conglomerate that owns Runway. Um, so I mean that's kind of what gets the ball rolling. And ultimately, I think that this movie was decent. I think this movie tried to have a lot to say about journalism today. Um, and I mean, I understand that, but I think it was a little too vague, I feel. And I think that's my big issue with this movie because all parts of it just it feels like the script was almost a first draft because they don't
Hmm.
really delve into any sort of details. Like I said, with Anne Hathaway, you don't know what kind of stuff she was working on before she got fired. Um, there's a bunch of, and then I also feel like it's a series of events kind of popping up where, so the first issue is there's this whole article and it's a PR nightmare, and then Hathaway kind of writes one article, and then okay, problem solved. Move on to the next thing.
Before you move on, is that the AI article, or is that a different
No, no,
one?
no, no. It is not the AI article. I mean, the article is basically about them because Runway is a fashion magazine, and they did a feature on a company that turned out to be like having a sweatshop for their clothing, and that caused a lot of controversy, and it seemed like her character was getting blamed for the entire thing. There is the AI thing where there's like an AI meme of Meryl Streep that or her character in the movie. Apparently, they used a real artist
Yeah.
to make it in the style of AI, which I think was kind of clever.
I've been seeing that pop up every now and then. They've been hiring people to like make like fake looking
Yeah,
AI art.
it really did look like AI art. Like, I mean, I think whoever did whoever the artist was that you did that kind of nailed just the general style that AI
Mm-hmm.
uses.
Tries to do. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think this movie was. I feel. I feel that's my issue. My major issue with this movie um, is just that where it's like, okay, here's a problem. You think that's what's going to be the focus of the movie. 5 to 10 minutes later, all right, problem solved. And it's almost like solved through montage or something that happened off screen, just very quick. And then times later, okay, they got to do something else. All right, problem solved. Then, and that's kind of I would describe it as a season of a sitcom, and like a 10 episode sitcom or something like that. But they edited down to only like the very very key scenes of every episode, and they kind of crammed it
Mm-hmm.
all into a 2 hour movie. For the most part, though, I think the movie is enjoyable. I think Anne Hathaway, I think all the performances are good. Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt, they're all, especially Meryl Streep, is a titan in the industry. but they're all very established, talented performers, and I think they nail it. There's a one performance that I don't like in the movie, and I can't remember the name of the character or the name of the actor, but it was he plays like this tech AI data center billionaire. I felt like he was. I don't even know if it's the actor's fault or just the way that his character was supposed to be portrayed. It just felt way too silly,
Hmm.
and over the top. Yeah, he felt like he was in an entirely different movie.
I'm trying to remember, like, because I know the original movie is like really campy. I
Yeah.
almost felt like this. One of the reasons why I haven't seen it is just because I was watching the trailer and I could feel the camp, but the jokes weren't landing to me. Like I just didn't find it like that funny. So I was
hmm
wondering, do you think I would find this film funny?
I think you would. I think most people would. I wouldn't. I don't think you'd find it hilarious, and I think there's definitely some jokes where you can tell it's like, okay, that was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't.
Hmm.
But I think they have enough jokes in there and enough moments of humor in there that I think most people would laugh. I feel like my audience definitely had a couple of good laughs throughout the movie.
Okay, that's good to hear. Cause like one of my biggest worries with any like reboot uh or sequel that's like really late in like time is just that it just doesn't match the original like charm. And I do think Devil
hmm
Wears Prada too, like this came out like really late, like compared to the first
Yeah.
one. I was
hmm
interested in seeing like what sort of modern stuff do they inject into this one.
Uh, again, I feel like it's the whole thing of like I think most of it is like the Meryl Streep character, like, hey, you can't do and say the things that you used to. Um, Although unfortunately, I think that does take away from it. Like, I wish it feels like they were, they tried to tame the street monster instead of just letting her go wild and be unleashed. And I think that hurts the movie, unfortunately, because
Yeah.
she was. I mean, it felt like she was the one in every room that had all the power, and I think the movie tries to flip it, but unfortunately, I think I think they don't realize that that's the thing that people enjoyed was how like how terrible of a boss she was, and I think that was kind of the through line of of that movie. It was about Andy wanting to get some validation um, from her boss and just survive this crazy job. And it doesn't really feel like that anymore. It feels like there's bigger things happening,
Hmm.
uh, and as a result, I would compare Meryl Streep's character to when it's that video game thing when you're fighting the final boss and that boss is like nearly impossible to defeat, and then you finally defeat them and you unlock them as a playable character, and of course they're nowhere near as strong as they were when you fought them, right? That's kind of what I would compare Meryl Streep's character to in this movie. She was like, she was the final boss in movie one, impossible to please, but also just kind of chewing up all the scenery uh in every scene that she's in.
Hmm.
And then in movie two, she feels nerf.
Damn, that's a shame because like I mean, yeah, Meryl Streep's character is kind of why you watch it. It's the
hmm
she's the devil.
Yeah.
And if they nerfed her, like yeah, that does make it seem like significantly less
Yeah.
interesting. I'm trying to think of like
Um,
another equivalent of like a movie that is just carried so hard by like one character.
I mean, I'm sure there's plenty. I'm sure there's plenty. It's hard for me to think of like off the top of my head like this, especially when you have especially when like that character returns for a sequel and it's just completely different. But I do think that again, I think the performances are good. I think the actors are doing well with what they have. I think one character that really does stand out is the Stanley Tucci character. Um, I think, and he was a presence in the first one, and I'm gonna be honest, it's been a couple years since I've seen the first one, so I don't remember if he was as memorable in the first one. I feel like he was awesome in the second one. His perform, of course, Stanley Tucci is a great actor, but there's just something about his character, the way he talks, the way he behaves, the way he reacts to situations. It's, you know, like crazy things are happening. He might be losing his job and just doesn't bother him in the slightest. Uh, yeah, I mean, just a really, really interesting character. And of course, I got to talk about the fashion in this movie. I was a little disappointed, if I'm being honest, with
Hmm.
some of the, especially there was one moment in the middle of the movie where Anne Hathaway and Stanley Tucci are picking out different outfits for her, and she sees a dress, and she is like, "Oh my God!" And it's one of those moments where the the camera stays on her, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's the dress that I gotta wear." And Stanley Tucci's like, "No, no, no, you can't pull it off," and all that. And the entire time the camera's staying on them, it's not showing the dress. So basically, by not showing it, the dress is getting hyped up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, you what usually happens, like just epic like shot where it's like she's entering the frame in like this cool way, kind of showing off an amazing dress. Yeah, that stuff doesn't happen. First of all, the dress sucks. It looks like something that you could go buy. It literally looks like something you can go buy at H&M. And then she's just kind of like, she's just kind
You're
of like there.
roasting this dress. Is this the blue and gold or black and blue? Or the white and gold and black and blue uh, color dress?
So, okay, I think if she had just appeared in that dress, just casually in one of the scenes, I wouldn't have cared. But because of how they hyped it up, and then it's like, and it wasn't just me, like my friend I went with, I was like, hey, did you also think the dress was like nothing special? And my friend was like, she was like, yeah, there was nothing impressive about that dress. But and they didn't even like make a big deal out of it, like showing off Anne Hathaway wearing the dress. She just like, yeah, she's in the next scene and she's wearing it. And it was to the point where I thought like she was gonna change into the dress that's hyped up. It took me a
Mhm.
minute to realize, oh no, that is the dress. But yeah, I mean,
I'm so curious. I
yeah,
need to see it now. I'm like, what is this unappealing whatever dress?
yeah, yeah. I will say like the movie was it was fun. Like it was a good time. It kind of easy watch, kind of breezy. It just I didn't feel like it was did anything special. It didn't do anything bad either. Um,
I
but
see.
yeah, I just think it was. I think if the script was a little bit tighter, I think this movie would have one or two more drafts um would have helped the movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
I would also give this movie a consider. Again, I think it's solid. I just don't think it is special, and I don't think that it will. Um, I don't think that this movie is going to be remembered anywhere near as fondly as the first one was. Oh, I realized one quick thing I did want to touch upon, because I've been seeing this talk go around where it's like, oh, visually, it's so much worse than the first movie and all that. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the first movie's cinematography was all that special. Um, I don't think that this movie looks ugly. I think there's a couple frames that you can put it side by side in the first movie, and when you're looking at screenshots, But when you're watching the movie, I mean, I'm not gonna say it stands out in any great way, but I don't think that the movie is like ugly looking. Also, it looks fine. Yeah.
I think some people just think it looks like drab, is what I was seeing. But
Hmm.
I would, I would say like from seeing the like trailers in the theater, like it's pretty bright. So I don't know
Hmm.
if that really mattered because the only thing I think about when I see that trailer is like them in that big office room. Uh,
Yeah.
because that's like all that I know about the movie, really. I mean, it's just that scene that they're all in there.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I will definitely see it. Just
Hmm.
in, I think I'll either wait for streaming or maybe I'll just catch it on a
Hmm.
on a day later this month.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't regret watching it, but nothing that stands out.
What else have you been watching lately?
So I actually, when I saw Devil Wears Prada, I did a double feature with that and Mother Mary, which is a movie about Anne Hathaway trying to find a dress for her performance because she's a pop star. Just happened to watch two Anne Hathaway movies about dresses. Um, I like Mother Mary a lot. I liked it more than Devil Wears Prada. I like the dress in it more than the dress in Devil Wears
I was gonna
Prada.
ask, like, I have to know now, was Mother Mary's dress good?
Yeah, I think the outfits in that movie were kind of really, really creative, actually. Um, but this is one of those movies where I liked it, but if you, when I say you, I mean it could be you, Kevin, or just anybody else, watches that movie and they go, "Oh, that movie is awful and I hated it." I'm not really gonna argue that take. It's a very valid I think whatever opinion is valid. It's just this is one of those movies where if I feel like if you like the style, then you'll enjoy it. But if stylistically it doesn't work for you, then
Hmm.
you'll probably hate it.
Part of what convinced me not to see it is one that I saw the rating, but two, as I was telling you, I'm a big David Lowery hater, and I feel too almost too bad like talking about how much I don't like his movies. I felt like it was interesting because I actually was interested in seeing Mother Mary, uh, but knowing that I don't like his direction and it has that rating curve, that can mean either one of two things. Either he's actually goaded now, or he's just as bad as I thought he was. So I'm gonna take the bet that he's still as bad as I thought he was.
Yeah, I the only other David Lowery movie I have seen is The Green Knight, and I love that movie. So
I have so much beef with that movie. It's unreal. It's unreal. I'll do a rant about it one day, probably. It'll be a waste of my time. But no, that's good. Mother Mary, and yeah, this is Anne Hathaway's year. She'll be in the Odyssey too. So
I know, yeah,
she'll probably be your most watched actress at the end of the year for Letterbox stats.
could be Zendaya because Zendaya's gonna be in Spider-Man, and The Odyssey as well, right? And Dune.
That's true. Spider-Man, Odyssey, and Dune, and she was just in the drama. Yes, that's four.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Unless Anne Hathaway gets another movie, we'll see.
Well, you also watched Interstellar, so that's going to be like another.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I can't remember who's at the top of mind right now. Recently, I watched a movie called Boys Go to Jupiter. It's from 2024. It's an animated movie that kind of looks like a Grubhub commercial. Like, I'll be honest, like, and I mean that in like a. It kind of has like a sincere, like, indie quirky vibe, like almost kind of like it's like a YouTube video. Um, but it has that aesthetic the whole movie, and I honestly kind of found it sickening. Like after a while, like I kind of like couldn't. It was kind of like an eyesore a little bit. I hate to say
Oh.
it. I really like animation like this, like I will seek it out. But I just wasn't a big fan of this story. It's basically just like a young coming of age story about like a guy who's trying to get a
Hmm.
lot of money. And he's living in this like Florida beach town. But there's other things that are weird, like the way that it presents certain characters. Like you can't tell if it's just like a stylistic thing or if like this is actually like a house with a face that talks is in this movie. um, and then there's like a weird donut alien that's really annoying. It makes really annoying noises. So I just yeah I wanted to like this more, but unfortunately it was not. It was not my jam.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
it's got like a 3.6, so a lot of people like it, I would say.
Yeah, I think when you mentioned it earlier, I didn't know of it, but then I looked it up and I was like, okay, I have heard of this movie.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailers and I was actually kind of excited for it. Like I thought it looked really cool, but just the longer that I watched it, the more it just like it just didn't like click with me. It's a shame. Also, I've been watching Survivor 50. Rick Devens flipped the Mr. Beast coin and doubled the prize pot. I want to know what you think of that, even though you have no idea what's going
I
on.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
Basically, Mr. Beast came on and he said, "Flip my coin. If you volunteer and volunteer your life in the game on a coin flip, uh, you'll win. We'll double the prize pot to $2 million, or you go home." And there was a guy who was crazy enough to do it, Rick Devens. He did it. Yeah. The only person that I know that is still in it is Emily Flippin, the financial analyst from Survivor
Oh,
45. Yeah, she's been doing fine, I think. I don't think she's gonna win, unfortunately. But yeah, that's I look forward to giving a full review of Survivor 50 after it's done. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Pages to Pixels. I'm Kevin, and that's Rohan. Make sure to like and subscribe, as it helps promote our channel and keep helps us keep creating cool videos for you guys. So stay tuned next week for another episode.
thank you.
Thank you.